Welcome back. I hope everyone is back. Can you please type in the chat box? I can see all people who are, their videos are on, so that's fine. Okay, now I can see Mirnarini as well, Neetu. Okay, great. Katrina, Janily. Okay, all right. Great. So we will continue. So far, we discussed what is job information, how to collect job information, what are the sources from where you can collect job information. The next is what tools you can use to collect job information. So I showed you one tool we discussed in a practical way where we tried to capture the job information in the question. So what you did, the job information sheet is an example of a questionnaire. Okay, so questionnaire we already discussed. Now there are other tools as well. So this one we have discussed, but there are other tools as well apart from questionnaire. So let's talk about each of the tool. From this chapter, you will definitely get one question from the sources. What are the sources of job information? One question you may get on what is job information and job description. And third question you may get on one of these data collection tools. So let us discuss these various tools. Now, observation. Observation simply means observing a person doing his or her job. That can be used to collect job information. Now, is it practical, guys? What do you think? Is it practical to see someone performing his or her job and then writing down what is their job information? Can you do that for all the jobs? Yes, for a short period only.
Yeah, it takes time.
For monitoring purpose, says Maha. Neetu says no. Okay, yeah. What about others? What do you feel? Observation? Now, the answer to this question will be, see, there are certain jobs which can be observed, but most of the jobs cannot be observed. Let me give some examples. Observation is a good tool for a warehouse helper, somebody who is packing and unpacking the boxes, somebody who is loading a truck, somebody who is inspecting the final product. You can just observe their job, what they are doing, what is their process, and you can write it down just by observing them. What are their duties and responsibility? But think about an accountant, for example. You cannot observe an accountant and can say what he or she is doing. Take an HR manager, for example. Let's say Maha, she's doing her job. Can I sit in front of her and write it down what she's doing the entire day? No. So, you may find me really stressed out, wrinkles on my forehead and really focused on my system. Now you are observing me and you will say, oh, he's really working hard. And, for 8 hours, he's like this. But maybe what I'm trying to do, I'm trying to beat my own score in solitaire, which I made last week. Right? So there are jobs which you cannot observe or you cannot record the job. just by observing the person doing his job. Like, for example, take job of a accountant for a HR manager. So what we call these kind of jobs, we call these knowledge workers. Who are knowledge workers? People who process information. Professionals who process information, who use information and then convert that information into a end product or process that information are knowledge workers. For knowledge workers, observation is not a good tool. And you can see most of us, we are all knowledge workers, isn't it so? So for those knowledge workers, observation is not a good tool. Work sample. Work sample is very similar to observation. The only difference is we may be observation may require long hours, 8 hours, 9 hours observation. Work sample is mostly a small snippet of the work. So basically it's a small sample of the work. Now imagine in a manufacturing company, there is an operator. This operator is illiterate, uneducated. If you give him a questionnaire, he cannot fill it, he cannot write. So what you can do, you can observe him for 15-minute, 30-minute window, and you can see what he does entire day. So basically he's repeating the same process again and again the entire day. So work sample can be beneficial again for such position. And we call these position as, so both observation and work sample work well for short cycle and repetitive jobs. Short cycle and repetitive. For such jobs, work sample is a good tool. Okay. Work diary. Work diary means writing down what you are doing the entire day. Again, my question, is it a good tool? What is your experience? If somebody asks you to write down what you have to do the entire day or what you did entire day, what is your...
Actually, the thing is, work diary is a good tool for for individual who want to perform a task, because we are all human beings. We sometimes miss something here and there because you get involved in other things. So work diary is, you can maintain it for yourself, but to get job information, I don't think it's a very good tool. It's only for your personal benefits. You can use it.
Right. So for most of the jobs, work diary, the problem with work diary is it is burdensome. It is burdensome. That's the problem. It feels like a burden. First you perform something and then you write it also. It feels like a burden. But there are certain jobs where you cannot survive without work diary. Where work diary becomes essential. Can anyone give me example? A job where work diary is essential? Okay, good.
For example, it can be used for FM industry. Basically, when there are cleaners in your building. Okay, so they have to write down which time they did, like for hotel housekeeping and like this.
Absolutely right. Maintenance.
Maintenance, yeah.
Like he said, like facility management, for example, most of the roles in facility management will require work diary, because you are managing multiple facilities or multiple areas. Then you need to maintain, you need to write down, right? 10 a.m. cleaning in XYZ building. Now, after 6 hours, the cleaner should go again. So then you need to maintain that record, isn't it? When in the morning he went, and then you should know immediately that again after 6 hours he need to go and clean. Similarly, think about all your maintenance engineers, hotel maintenance staff. They need to create work diary. They cannot work without work diary. Imagine that you have a machine and you are not maintaining when it was oiled, when the AMC is due, when your AC required servicing. Then this industry or this function cannot actually work efficiently. So you need work diary for all the maintenance jobs, like we all discussed: engineering services, facility management services, be it cleaning or other things. HSC also, yes, good, good. So work diary is a good tool for maintenance uh, sector or facility management sector, or the jobs which require regular checking or maintenance. Good. Next is interview. Now, interview is a good tool for what kind of jobs? Senior level jobs. You cannot interview all people, because one interview may take 3 hours, 4 hours, and sometimes when it is to your work, it may take one day. So you don't have time to give one day for each profile. But if you are creating a job information for senior level, then you should interview the person. When you are hiring for a CEO, you are hiring for a CFO, a general manager. I remember meeting a chairman last year. He's the chairman of an African company, East Africa. They are a big cement company in East Africa, and he was looking for a CFO. So his assistant, she sent job description to our company, and then we were not able to understand, what they exactly wanted. They were not clear. So I remember meeting the chairman of the company, and we had a 3 hour long discussion. 3 hour long discussion where I think we made at least 5 to 6 pages. So because there were so many things in the job that we need to know before starting the search for the right person. And so much came into that meeting, that I want this, these are my issues, this is what the company is facing, this was the experience of the previous CFO, and why I am hiring again, and what is my expectation, and what are the key skills, etc., etc. Because many times even the management itself, the senior people in the company, they are not clear what they want. So that is, for such jobs, interview becomes very helpful. Questionnaire, like I said, for most of the positions, questionnaire is a good tool. Performing the job. Is it a good tool, guys? What do you think? Is it a practical tool, good tool? Now the answer is, most of the times it is not a good tool. Why? Performance of the job is not a good tool. It's impractical, right? I cannot perform all jobs. If I can perform all the jobs, then why the company have so many people? So I need people who are skilled in their roles. They only can perform their job better. Imagine you want to perform job of an electrician, or you want to perform job of a surgeon, job of a driver. If you don't know how to drive, so performing a job is not a very good idea. Background records. Background records can be and cannot be. 90% of the organizations do not have good background records, which means how you utilize background records is by looking into the past files. And if you do analysis of these exit interview, you go back to these exit interview files and the analysis that you have done. From there, you pick up some data, which is really helpful for your job information and how you can hire a better person this time. So background record is a good tool, but it depends on how good your data collection is, how good your exit interview are. Do you perform any kind of analysis once a person leaves the company? Okay. So I hope now all these are clear to you, everyone. Very simple. Okay, let's move on. So what you get out of job analysis? So what we get is these three things. First is job description. So in the coming slide, I will explain to you. And in a nutshell, if you want to know what is job description, then job description is job content plus job context. Now you will remember everything. Okay. Some people confuse job description with job advertisement. So don't confuse. Many times we give job advertisements, and in the job advertisement, we may or may not necessarily cover job description. Sometimes in the job advertisement, you will mention these are the KRAs of the person. These are the KPI of the person. Then we are looking for a pleasing personality. We are looking for this, that ability. Education mostly is there. So that is not part of job description ideally. That is part of job specification. You remember job specification? It is the knowledge, skill, ability, and personality that is required. Now, there is this typical question which sometimes is asked in the exam. I want you to remember it. So 2 out of 1 cases they ask. Many times I have seen this question. What type of personality is required in a job must be explained in the job description. True or false? The type of personality which is required in the job must be explained in the job description. True or false? The answer will be false. Why false? Because I use the word job description. So in the job description, if you say must, then it is wrong. So it will be false. Now let me ask a different question. So the concept will remain the same. I will just change the questions. Okay. Job specification may be part of job advertisement. True or false? Job specification may be part of job advertisement. True or false? True. Very good. All are right. True. Same question in a different way. Job specification must be part of job advertisement. What is the answer? Job specification must be part of job advertisement. True, 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 true. Good. Eddie Gay, she has tried to understand the point. Answer is false. Okay? Because I said must. Job specification may be part of job advertisement, but job specification must not be part of job description. I mean, if somebody says it is must, then it is false. Okay, so in your job advertisement, when you are creating a job advert, you can take both. That's your choice, but that's not mandatory that you must have both. That's why you will find many job advertisement only with job description. They do not mention the knowledge, skill, or ability or personality they are looking for the job, because it is not mandatory. And why it is not mandatory, let me give you a quick answer. See, job description is something which you want to show to the candidate. It's like external face. This will be your duty, responsibility. This is the environment you are going to work. These are the people you are going to work with. This is the person whom you report to, and we are looking for a person with this qualification. Now that is the job description you show to the candidate. But once candidate appears for interview, what you assess the person on? You assess the person on his knowledge, his skill set, his ability, his personality, his attitude, his behavior, which you might not put in the job description. Now you understand what I'm saying? It is not mandatory to mention all these things in the job description. And why? Because imagine, let me give you one case. Let's say you wrote in your job advertisement, we are looking for a pleasing personality. And now people come for interview. What do you expect from them? Will they come with long faces, with dull attitude, long faces? Or they will come, everyone will come smiling and showing all the, incisors, right? So what do you expect from them? They will show their pleasing side. They will show you that, oh, I have a pleasing personality. When I meet people, I'm smiling and I have a good pleasing personality. Why? Because you have mentioned it. Okay. So that I may want to notice, or I want to assess when the person walks into my office. That is why, like I said, for senior level jobs, when I'm hiring a CEO, CFO, I want to give them job specification, everything, so that their time is not wasted, my time is not wasted. But when I'm hiring for a fresher level position, mid level position, I will not give them complete job specification because I want to assess them. What is the purpose of the interview? To assess people on these areas. I want to see their ability, demonstrate that ability. I want to see their personality. I hope this point is clear to everyone now. Okay, good. Also, it tells us about the performance standards. How? I will quickly take you to one of the slides which was there. Can you see here? There is a slide in exercise which you may be required in chapter number 5. Here we are writing work dimension of a person. Work dimension is nothing but your key responsibility. You may be having 20 responsibility. Like a recruiter may have 20 responsibility. Posting jobs online, calling candidates, interviewing candidates, so on and so forth. But if you ask me what is his key responsibility here, his key work dimension, all can be summarized into one word. What is that word? Recruitment or talent acquisition. So that is his work dimension. So all these 20 responsibilities are under one KRA. This work dimension in future will become KRA. KRA means key result area. What we did here in this exercise, we find out what are the key work dimension and how much time a person is spending on that particular work dimension, and then what is the level of importance of this work dimension for the company. If you try to analyze this, then what it will give you? It will give you a KRA, which is the key result area. Also, it will also give you what should be the value of this KRA in your performance. Let's say 20% out of 100, 25% out of 100. Don't worry, we will talk about this topic in detail in chapter number 5. But this is the beginning of creation of KRA KPI. I have consulted at least 5 companies in the last 2 years where we have created their complete performance management system. And my experience with all the 5 companies in Middle East, I did not struggle making their KRAs and KPI at all. But I struggled a lot with the job descriptions. You cannot create a KRA KPI without knowing the actual job information, without having all the key duties and responsibilities listed. You cannot create KRA KPI. That is why I said that job description, job information is precursor to performance management. We can only create a good performance management system once this is in place, right? Okay, like I said, I will again touch this point in chapter number 5 and we'll talk about it in detail. So all your doubts may be cleared. Yeah, KPI is key performance indicator, KRA is key result area. All right. So usually what we cover in a job description, job identification, summary, duties, responsibility, relation, supervision, working condition. So job content plus context together is job description. All right. Now, in your job descriptions, we always mention something. What do we mention? If you remember, there is one clause written in all the job description. What is that clause? Other duties as and when required. Yeah. So we have to mention this clause, no, every time. Do you think it is important? Yes, it is very important. Especially in this age, 21st century, it has become even more important. So earlier, we used to sometimes argue that a person, should he or she be given a job, a work which is out of their job description. And maybe 10 years back, I could argue that no, they should only be given what is there in their job description, but no longer today. Why? Because we cannot predict what will be there in your job description tomorrow. Isn't it so? I think during COVID, you all have understood that, isn't it? Now, the time is that technology is changing everything in the world. It is changing the way we used to work. I remember back in 1995, I mean around 90s, in India, most of the banks were undergoing computerization, which means sort of replacing all the ledgers, all the registers with computers. And I remember clearly that in those days, uh, most of our public sector banks, they went for strikes. They said, we are not going to use computers. We trust our hand. We trust this paper, and computer cannot be better than paper. And they went on strike and they said, we are not going to use it. But today, you know that every other day, every single week, there is a new tool, there is a new technology, there is change in the process. And you must abide by this new process. So that's why today it has become even more important to use this clause and set expectations when an employee joins. You keep their expectations flexible. That, okay, we are hiring you as a business development manager, but we may ask you for marketing as well. You may be required in admin related duties, right? So keep the expectations flexible. That's why it has become mandatory today. All right. So now, what we have learned is that job analysis plays an important role in all these functions of HR or all these activities of HR. So right now we have, you know, there is a tool which I don't know how to use it. Maybe if we are able to use or not, I don't think so. So what I want from you, each one of you, choose one activity out of these all activities. So there are 20 people in the room. Each one of you choose one activity. Okay. And just try to link importance of job analysis for that activity. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, for example, how job analysis is important for HR planning. So you need to think and write down 2 points. If we do not have job analysis, it means we do not have job information. It means we do not have duties responsibility. Then how would I know how many people I need to hire? So how I will do my manpower planning, HR planning, if I do not have the duties and responsibilities, right? So job analysis is vital for HR planning. You cannot do job HR planning without job analysis. Okay. Similarly, let me give another example of legal compliance. How job analysis data can help me for my legal compliance planning. When I look at the duties and responsibilities of my people and the environment in which they work, it can help me to design their health and safety instructions. Also, people who work in the hazardous environment, I should sign some kind of agreement with them. A separate agreement which says that I understand this is a hazardous environment, these chemicals may affect my health, and company won't be responsible if such thing happen. I totally understand and I want to perform this duty. So this paper will protect you in case of some legal case or legal suit by the employee. So when you look at the job carefully, it will help you to even plan your legal procedure better. Also, based on the duties the person is performing, like for example, a cashier. Now, a cashier, his duty is to handle the cash. He will be always having 100, 200,000 dirham as cash. How I can legally protect my company? What if he takes all the cash and runs away? How I protect my company in that scenario? So you need to create a legal SOP or process. Similarly, employee relations means policies. When you create policies for the company, again, you look at your people, the nature of their job, the environment in which they work, the requirement of the job, the policies. For example, if the job requirement says that you will be working in a night shift, so there should be a policy for that. Or the job requirement allows people to work from home, then there should be a policy for that. A job requirement allows you, or job requirement want everyone to be creative or innovative, then there has to be a policy on creativity or innovation. So this is how analysis, okay? I have given you many examples. Now you just have to write down one example, each of you. Take any of these areas of HR wherever you are comfortable and try to see how job analysis is important for that HR activity. Okay, yeah. So you can start writing and you can share in the chat box. So Megha, what you need to do is why you think job analysis is vital for staffing. How job analysis is linked with staffing. This is what you have to share. So what you need to do, you need to share why you think job analysis is vital for, let's say like Mirnalini is writing that job analysis is important for employee relations. Now we should ask Mirnalini how you think and why you think job analysis is vital for employee relations. Similarly, Neetu should answer why job analysis is vital for rewards. Okay. Okay, Muhammad is saying in safety. Great. Hmm. Okay. So let's quickly start with the hmm. Very good, Sonia. Very good point. She has made a very good point that job analysis will help us to identify the core areas where the employee requires training. Absolutely right. How do you know what training you need to give to your people? We cannot give our training to our people whatever is right now everyone is doing in the market. No, you need to understand what your people need, and that you will only understand if you know what they are doing. Yes. Like Casey, she says, performance management, job analysis is important to set KR and KPI. Absolutely right, Casey. San says job analysis is vital for training to assess the required training for each employee needs. Perfect. Absolutely right. Mohammed says rewards based on a particular performance that employee achieve in a particular area. Which means understand my employees' duties and responsibility. I can set the right rewards for them. Right? Maria says job analysis is important. So we are able to create, develop, and amend SOP and policies, and what characteristic or personality required to perform a certain role. Hmm. Hmm. It requires slight improvement, Maria. Based on the people that you have, the knowledge level they have, the education level they have, you can create the policies which they can understand and can implement. And also, yes, they can adhere to such SOPs. Let's say if you make a policy in your company, mm, that everyone should send a performance appraisal or self appraisal report or self uh, review every week or every month, and 60% of the people in your company are not highly educated, ground level employees, do you think you will get this report? The answer is no, because these people are not educated. They don't know how to write emails, they don't know how to create such a report, they don't know English. So this policy will fail because you have not observed what is the level of your people. Very good. Like Katrina, she gives a very important point that you need to be well aware where they need improvement, and for that you need to understand their job. Very good. Okay, Yathiraj saying rewards so that to understand capability of performing out of scope job with JD is not being covered. Okay. Yeah, that's a good point Yathiraj is trying to make, but just he in the language he's slightly faltered. But I think what he's trying to say is, how do you know that something is more important for your job and something is less important? So if something is more important, you should get some sort of reward for that, right? So that's what he's trying to say, that a person, so reward should be linked with job analysis. So when you set up rewards, you should look at look at a person's job information, what he's supposed to do, what are the accountability duties of the person, and then you set up rewards for him. Then these rewards will motivate the person. So that's a very good point. Also, when you set up rewards, imagine you are giving wrong rewards to your people. Have you seen giving wrong rewards? I can give you a quick example. In one of the retail companies in Abu Dhabi, I was their HR consultant, and they the store manager one day was taking me through the store, and we were talking about a particular reward. The reward was everyone who performs sales above a particular number, let's say 80% of their sales, they will get a Ray-Ban glass. So goggles, right? Ray-Ban. Now, what this company did, they purchased in bulk. They got a cheaper deal. Now, when they are giving this to the employee, they will tell the employee that this is a 400 dirham goggle, which we are giving for your good performance. So when I talked to a few of these people who received that award, none of them was really happy. Why? Why they were not happy? The answer is because they do not value that reward. They said, sir, it would have been great if they have given us cash or something that we can use. They are saying this is 400 dirham Google. I can get 10 from Burdubai in 400, and even better than this, right? So for those employees, there is no value of that brand name. I don't care. It's a Ray-Ban or some other band. I don't care about that brand name, right? I know that it can protect my eyes from sun, which I get in 10 dirham from 1 to 10. So if you give me 400, I will buy 10. Still, I will save 300 and send it to India. That was the view, right? So what mistake they were making? They did not understand um, the level of people. I mean, I'm not saying level in terms of the need of the people. Level is the wrong word, because it doesn't mean that if you spend a lot of money, it means you have a high level or good level. No, it doesn't mean that. Some of the best, I would say, in humanity, the people who have highest level, highest stature, those people are very simple in their living, right? I think one of the richest person on planet Earth, he drives a very old car, 30, 40-year-old car, Warren Buffett, right? So it's nothing about that sort of thing, but yes, what I'm trying to say, need of the people. So your job information will tell you what is need of your people, right? All right. Now I think everyone understood one point, that job analysis is important for all these activities of HR, not just one, but all the activities of HR, right? Like we took example from all the areas. So by now, you all are now clear, I think. So when we started this module, I said that we always think job analysis is something related to job description. Now what we have understood, that job analysis is a vital aspect of human resource management, and it is a base for all other HR activities. It is a foundation for all other HR activities, right? Okay, yeah, Tawfiq was asking for employee relation. Okay, employee relation means setting up all the policies, let's say HR policies. How would I know what policies are good for my people? So there are, let us take three, four examples, quick examples. Let's say we are talking about working hours. Now, working hours can be decided once you know what are the duties and responsibilities of your people. If you are a manufacturing company, you know that machines should work 9 hours a day. So obviously, working hours will be 9 to 6, because the production line cannot work in pieces. Everyone should be there at 9 a.m. So what is required from the work is translating into your policies. Let's say tomorrow an operator comes and asks you, can I have flexi timing, 2 hours flexi timing? Because this is a best practice now that every company is giving flexi timing. Can you give flexi timing to this understanding his or her work? The answer is no. So you will ask immediately, so on which machine you are working? I'm working on the lathe machine or XYZ machine. Oh, so if you do not come for, let's say if you come 2 hours late, then what this operator will be doing? Because this product will go to the next machine then. So what he will be doing? So he will be sitting idle. So it is impossible for us to give you flexi timing. You have to come at 9 a.m. sharp, because your job requires you to do this. You understand now? Same thing, let's take example of research and development team. Now your research and development team, they maybe working in a totally different environment than other teams, such as marketing or sales. So you might be having policies for different departments, like sales staff. So you might be having flexibility of time for sales staff. You want your sales team to be sitting in office, or they should be working in the field? They should be working in the field, right? You don't expect them to sit entire day in office. So for them, you don't have a policy of 9 to 6 they should be in office. You will have a different policy for them. So like this, when you understand jobs inside your company, it will help you to decide your policies. And there are so many other examples. Let's say, for example, you are a 5-star hotel. You opened a hotel in UAE. Now, UAE, is a conservative country if compared with America or British or any European country. So now this new hotel chain, they were operating some hotels in British, region or European region, and they came now to UAE. Okay, so they are hiring locals. Can they expect the same processes to be followed by the locals as they were followed by Europeans? The answer is no. Right? Because this is a new country, different culture, different people, and you have to understand where they are coming from before creating your policies. That is why you will see most of these 5-star hotels, they will have a multi-domestic strategy, which means they change their policies as per the country they are operating in. It makes sense. Okay, so these are some examples of employee relations. I think there was some other question also. Let me quickly take it. Maria, performance management means managing performance of your people. Employee relations means managing their work relations, work-related relations. So what is the tool to manage their relation? The tool is employee handbook, HR manual, policies, procedures, so that their work-related things are monitored, managed. But performance is totally different thing. Performance means, are they performing or not? We'll talk about it later. Okay, so performance management and legal compliance is one example. All right. So legal compliances, let's take legal compliances. Let's say in your company, your people interact a lot with vendors, like your procurement division, or their admin or your admin department. Okay, they interact a lot with the vendors. So in their job information sheet, you have found interact with 5-6 vendors every day. So they're interacting, they're writing emails, they're communicating, they're doing to and fro with these vendors. Now let's say I am dealing with a vendor and the vendor said, look, sir, we need this payment within 1 month. And then I said, yeah, don't worry. I'm telling you, I'm the procurement manager. So yeah, you will get in 1 month. Don't worry. Then he tells me, sir, can you write an email? I say, yeah, okay. I will write an email that you will get your payment in 1 month. Now, let's say I have written this and then I went to finance department for release of the payment. And the finance department says that we cannot give this payment within 1 month. It is impossible. What you did was not right because it will take at least 3 months. Now this vendor can sue my organization. So he will not sue the person who made the promise. Isn't it so? Will he say that, Mr. Yogi, I'm filing a case on Mr. Yogesh? He promised me to pay within 1 month. No, he will file a case against my company because one of their representative promised this. Now, in that case, if I know that a lot of my people interact with vendors and they have to make such commitments, then I should have a disclaimer under each email which says that whatever this person is saying, if you that is only maybe his personal views, or if you are interested, we can share one template with you. And then basis on what he's saying, it will not be taken into it is not a legal representation of the stand of the company on this particular matter. Then you have to write to legal@abc.com. So what you are doing by this disclaimer, you are protecting your company from any such lawsuits. So that is one example. So you will, because you know that your people are, involved in such interactions, you should better create a disclaimer policy, which will help you in legal or lawsuits, etc. And there can be many other examples. For example, I gave you example of somebody working in a hazardous environment, taking from him. That's a legal compliance. Like when a patient goes to a hospital, before the operation, they need to sign something, right? So that's a legal compliance because you don't know what is going to happen inside that operation theater. Anything can go wrong. So when you understand what is the nature of work your people are involved in, you will be able to create the legal structure around the jobs which will protect your company and your people. Right, Mohammed? I think I am clear on this.
Yes, it's clear.
Yeah, so great. Yeah, thank you. Same thing, yes, like Maha also shared, non-compete, for example. So purpose is to protect your company in case of some compete, like non-disclosure agreement. Now, you will not have any non-disclosure agreement in a manufacturing company. Operators are not required to sign a non-disclosure agreement, NDA agreement. You don't need. But in a software company, you need non-disclosure agreement, right? Why? Because nature of business is different, right? Okay. I think enough examples. All right. Great. Okay. A lot of time in the last few examples, but I hope now it is clear to all of you how is it linked. Now, dejobbing. What is dejobbing? The term dejobbing means removing jobs from the company. Now, that's very common nowadays, unfortunately. So I will give you some quick examples why dejobbing is happening. And the dejobbing is happening because of three reasons: flattening of the organization, using self-managed work teams, re-engineering business process, and then fourth is COVID recession. I'm just adding one more in this. So even if it is COVID or whatever it is, there are three logics behind dejobbing. Dejobbing means removing jobs from the company. One logic is that flat organizations perform better and are more cost effective than hierarchical organizations. For your quick reference, I want to show you this example. So what you can see here, few structures, right? Now, see, like Amazon. Amazon is a typical pyramid structure, a hierarchical structure. 1 to 2 to 4, like this. This is what we call hierarchy. Look at Google. Google has a very different structure. Google is an example of flat structure. Why we call it flat? Because the number of levels in the hierarchy are less. Look at Facebook. It is a matrix structure. Why we call it matrix? Because there is no hierarchy at all. And look at Microsoft, we call it hybrid structure. Because it is a mix of hierarchy and flat. Now, why companies are going for flat structure? Why? Because two reasons. Reason number one, flat structure requires lesser number of people and it is cost effective. Obviously, because less number of people, so obviously cost effective. That is one reason. Second reason is, in the hierarchical structure, let's say to assistant manager reporting to the manager reporting to general manager reporting to vice president reporting to the finally CEO. Officer makes a report, verified, approved by assistant manager, then by next level, then by next level, then by next level. In the research done by various universities and workplaces, we realize that these function areas, these people who are highest paid in this pyramid, who get a lot of salary, in 80% of the cases, they do not add value to the process. They just acquire big seats in the company, salaries, big rewards, but they do not directly add value to the process. Right? So these are the two logics why many companies are now thinking about a flat structure. This is reason number one. Second is self-managed work teams. It has been realized that when you allow people to make decisions and when you create smaller teams rather than huge structure, if you divide your people into small teams, then they become more productive than being part of a huge structure. Third reason why people are dejobbing is re-engineering of business processes. The business processes are changing. Take any business process, for example. I think recent example is this phone. Okay. Now earlier, if let's say I want to work, the only way to work was I should be having my laptop. Now today, I think my phone, it has more memory than my laptop. It is around 1 TB. So it has more memory than my laptop. I can carry all the files in my phone. There are apps which can make me more productive. So the way we work is changing. Let me give you some quick examples. Have you been to a bank recently? Have you been to a bank? Some of you. If you go to the same bank 5 years back, how many people were there in the same branch 5 years back? Maybe 10 to 15 people in the branch. Right? Absolutely right, Mohammed, what he said. 10 to 15 people in the branch. Today you go to the same branch, how many people are there? 2 to 3. Same branch. Number of accounts have increased or reduced? Obviously increased. Number of accounts have increased. And somewhere 10 to 15 people were needed earlier. Now we need 2 to 3 people. And I am predicting that in future, there will be zero. All banking will go complete automated. People who are working in banks, I often scare them. So, but this is true. This is going to happen. The entire banking industry will first go automated, outsourced, and then it will completely go to artificial intelligence. Humans are not required in banking. If you see, actually, yeah, like Maria is telling about Eva, I'm really frustrated with that Eva lady. Emirates NBD. I mean, she's so frustrating. Anything. You have to be Eva only in future. Yeah, even Etisalat has become such a pain, if you want to call, and the same, artificial intelligence trying to maneuver and take you to the place where you want to reach. So this is very painful right now, but in future, this is going to happen. All these jobs will be lost to artificial intelligence. And what is the key? If you want to know, I will tell you a secret today. Anything which can be defined in a process, anything which can be easily defined in a process, a set of steps, can be automized, can be automated, can be digitized. So think about bank. Is there any scope of creativity in a bank? No. Banking is all about process. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. I cannot treat every customer as a different. I cannot give them a different, plan, right? So to speak. Different interest rate. So it is easier for banking to go people-less, and it will happen. Okay. So these changes in the business operations are pushing companies to de-job. Like banking, I am saying it will completely get jobless in future, within next 5-10 years, not long. And you can see a lot of already happening, right? Same thing goes with the drivers. So within 20 years, you will see all the cars will be driving themselves. They will not need any driver, at least in countries like USA, UAE, Europe, and all such places, right? Because robots will be better drivers than human beings. Okay, they are not going to fight with their wife in the morning and then drive. They will not feel frustrated when somebody passes on at high speed. Huh? Okay, so yeah, because of all these reasons, companies are de-jobbing. Now, what you can do? There are 3 tools which you can use. One is job enlargement. Instead of removing people from the company, what we can do, when you see there is a lesser scope, you can enlarge the job. How to enlarge? Adding number of tasks in the job. So in this case, you can see this girl, what we have done, we have added more tasks in her job. Earlier she was doing only 2 things, making a purchase order, printing it. Now she's also going to the customers and meeting the customers. So what we did, we kind of combined 2 roles into one. She is sales coordinator as well as customer care executive or customer service representative. That is job enlargement. Because she's taking an additional job, We can give her extra salary also. Still, you will save a lot. For example, if 5,000 is the salary of uh, uh, customer representative, now you can increase 1,000 in her salary and you can give her additional task. That is job enlargement. Next is job enrichment. In many places, what will happen? Okay, I don't have additional duties for you. You are only handling your role. But your level of responsibility is increased. Simply what it means, your your senior person, the person who is reporting to you, he is fired. That's what it means, right? So let's say a person who was reporting to manager, he is now reporting to general manager. So what happened? You have been made more responsible, accountable now. Earlier, you can send anything to your manager, manager will check, correct, and then send it to general manager. Now, you are directly sending a report to general manager. So you have to double check everything and then send it to him. Now, that will be job enrichment. So you may get an example in the exam. Give you one question like John was reporting to GM. Now GM position is made redundant and he's directly reporting to C. This is an example of job enlargement, job enrichment, job rotation, etc. So what is the right answer? Job enrichment. Okay? That's job enrichment. Next, job rotation. Job rotation means rotating employees through various jobs and training them into different roles. I think that is happening nowadays a lot. We'll talk about in chapter number 4 again. Okay, so I'm leaving it for now. We'll talk about this topic in chapter number 4. It simply means rotating people through various jobs and making them multi-skilled. Same, if you go to a bank today, for example, the same person who is helping you to open account, they can do teller services, cash services for you, and when you try to leave the bank, they will try to sell you the insurance also. So the same person is a teller, service, cashier, and salesperson. One person. That is an example of job rotation because they are trained in all these areas. Great. So what happened in what we learned in this chapter was the job analysis, which is collection of the job information, synthesizing and analyzing the job information, helps us to create job descriptions and job specification. These job descriptions and specification will help us in the next step. When we hire people, this information will help us to create interview questionnaire. It will help us to create structured interviews. We will talk about it in the next chapter, and can be used to attract the right talent in the company. Once they join, you need to give them KRA KPI or SLAs. So KRAs are key result area, KPIs are key performance indicator. SLA is a similar word which means service level agreements. Evaluation of such KRA or performance parameters will help you to analyze your job again or improve your job description, job information again, which will again help you to hire better people next time who will perform better, and it's a continuous improvement cycle, which means your organization keeps on hiring better people who keeps on performing better, and in the end organization is continuously improving. This is a power of job analysis and focusing on the job information. All right. And this is end of our second chapter. I hope everyone remembers there was one assignment which we have discussed, which you will bring next time. All of you remember that?
Yes, job information,
Yes.
right?
Okay, great. I think we have already gone beyond the time today. It's great to see you, all of you again, guys. I can see some are already at work. Girish, Tawfiq. I think you guys are in office already, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So great.
So
So thanks for joining.
Should we make an
Yep.
Excel for that? Yeah, should we make an Excel for that for job information, or how do we prepare it?
Yeah. So what you need to do, you can make an Excel sheet or PowerPoint presentation, any of these two. I think PPT would be better. So what you need to do is you need to first write down the job information for a job. Write down the complete job information. You can do it in Excel also. You can do it in Word also, or PPT. It depends. I leave it to you guys. Okay. Now, once you have collected the job information, second step would be go to move mynextmove.org. Go to this website and then search that particular job on the website, like sales manager, HR manager. And then you see what this website is saying and what I'm writing, and how I can change certain terminologies, or lexical range can be improved, and I can change certain phrases or words and make it more professional by using the mynextmove.org website. So you have to see what is the raw material, then you compare it with an international organization, and then you make one final job information sheet, combining the both, or synthesizing the best out of two.
Yeah.
Am I clear? You don't have to copy what is written in the my next move. You don't have to copy from there, but you just can improve your words a bit. Like, so what is my goal? That you get to know how to write a professional job information or job description. All right, guys. So it was pleasure again seeing you, all of you. I hope you're well and keeping safe. Great. And I hope you enjoyed today's session, and it will help you to improve your work and the way your department or company is functioning. Wonderful. So great to see you again, and see you next week now. Take care, all of you. Stay safe. Bye-bye.
See you in HRM.
Yeah. See you in the, yeah.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Yeah, some of us will join again in the second half. Yep. All right. Bye-bye.